Do you know that you have a spirit team that helps you achieve everything you're meant to be doing in your life? Did you know that your dreams introduce you to some of the characters that help you on the spirit side of things that you have forgotten about while here? We see that in one of today's dreams. Welcome to the Dream Interpretation Podcast with Michael and Sandy.
Hello, welcome everybody. We're so glad that you're back with us for another interesting week of dreams.
This is our last week from Ireland. And why do we do this? Because dreams are your gateway to the spirit world. They're kind of like the last bastion. If you think you're going to live a life without any spirit world connection, your dreams guarantee you do. And most people in the West, their dreams are their only connection to the spirit world. But everybody's intrigued about spirit dreams because everybody has them. And we tell you what they mean on this show. They comment on everything in your life, everything about what's happening in the physical world and the spirit world, like relationships, health, career, you name it. They're all in there. But dreams comment on life from a spirit world perspective because that's where you came from. You're only going to be here temporarily. And so it's important to realize that when we look at your dreams, that's the view they're going to come from. Sandy, what have you got for us?
After 2 weeks of some very interesting dreams that were nefarious beings and special gifts being stolen, now we're going to start on something else that might be similar but different. So it'll be fun. Are you ready, Michael?
I'm ready.
All right. This is titled Eccentric Man's House. It's from Carol. I'm at a man's house. I only see his backside from my peripheral in the dream. He and the actress Lisa Renna are there, plus a few others. At first, I'm wondering why Lisa's here because she's so famous. I'm really looking at her starring, and then remember the man and Lisa co-acted together on a show for a long time. Oh, they're really good friends. She's just hanging out here with him. The man is extremely eccentric, and his house was eccentric too. On the very tall wall, I see two art pieces hanging that take up the entire wall side by side. They're both bright red with gold and have an Asian art look to them. The first has bright red background with gold continents on it. The second is the same color red background, but with numbers that are sliced like a pie. It feels like ruins or something similar. I see Lisa walking over to the numbers mural and she taps the double sixes 3 times with her hand. I think, oh, she is superstitious too. My understanding is tapping certain numbers brings that energy to you. Okay, Michael. Interesting dream seems a little strange.
All right. So what I really like when working on dreams, if I get to meet someone on the other side, because I can look at the dream and then look at the characters that show up. And this guy that shows up is one heck of a character. So we know it's about channeling anyway. And we know the man is the focus of this dream, but who is he? But basically, he is a friend of hers in the spirit world. And so it's really interesting the way that her own guides introduce her to him back on this side. They're saying, like, he is really good for your introductions and connections. It seems like he knows everybody on the other side. And you're very friendly with him on the other side. Like, you really know each other well. But if you were to use them to do something, he would totally change it on you. You know, if you said, I want you to paint this bedroom, like you're a fashion designer, do this. He wouldn't follow your instructions. He might start off, but then you finish it the way he wants it to be. And so you can't ever ask him to do something. It's just only used as connections. And the way they pointed it out, I think it's kind of funny. What is the first part that you see of this character? She says, I only see his backside from my peripheral in the dream. And they said, you see his ass first because he is one. They said, believe the dream. And like even the mural. So normally I would go into the colors and all that with the red and the gold. What does that all mean? And they're saying that this is him putting his stamp on everything you ever ask him to do. So it's like he would say, you know, I know it's your wall, but I didn't like it. So I hung up these murals. Ha ha. And that's kind of like crazy way that it's like he's just going to control the situation if you give him the power to control it. So they're saying he's there, he's on your team, but be warned. Use them for connections and nothing else. Anyway, I thought it was a cute dream because of the way it does this.
Okay, why is Lisa here, the actress? Is that the channeling part?
Yeah, she's going to access him through channeling. So we know he's a spirit world person. It's not somebody in the physical world. And it's just interesting when you're told in advance, channeling is it for you. Like she was told before, channeling is it for her. And she had to really channel. We were pushing her when she was doing her courses. Channel, 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 channel. And even when she was exhausted from doing it, like not exhausted, but like hitting a point, like I don't think I can go further. Pushed her more. And then she hit a point where it's like, oh, it all makes sense now. I know what I can channel. I know how I can help other people. And what she does is she helps people bring their gifts in. And she can work in the quantum realm. She knows the manifestation angels. She has a team around her that are at a very senior level, way more senior than you would normally expect to find. And so she moved up a level recently. We saw that in one of her dreams, in the sense that they're saying, okay, we're happy that you're using everything that you came here to do. You're using it properly. So now we're going to like remove some of the restrictions on what you have access to in the spirit world. So it's like the causal plane is one aspect in the spirit world, one part of things. And they're giving her access to the things around the causal plane as well. All the departments, let's say, that help run that and other systems in the spirit world. And so they're introducing her to characters that she knows in that space. But again, her access to them is through channeling.
Ah, very interesting. And so, what about? So, you're not going to go into the red and gold.
No, I mean, normally I would. And when I was doing the dream for her, I was tuning into it and they were saying, no, that's his mark. This is the issue you have with him, that he's going to cover whatever it is you want to do in his own ideals. Because normally a painting would represent ideals, but it's like you're going to be usurped. I remember years ago, we moved into a house we just bought, and the previous owner said, this guy here, I use him a lot for doing handyman work around the house. And he said, but I'm going to warn you now, if you hire him, at some point, he's going to get the impression that you're working for him. Sure enough, that happened. We can't say who it is, but it's just funny. Some people are like that. This character is like that.
I got it.
You can't ask him to do things because he will tell you he can and he will, but he will hang his paintings over your wall, even when you didn't want that to happen.
Right. And why is Lisa tapping the double sixes 3 times? So what's going on with that? With her hand,
So,
even.
Carol has an amazing ability to work with feminine energy and just a whole set of amazing skills, but working with energy is a big thing. So the tapping the sixes is pointing out that she's getting onto the dharmic path. Like this is coming. 5 is about the 5 senses. We had that a couple of weeks ago in spades. And 6 is going beyond the 5 senses. So represents the dharmic path in the dream. So it's really good to see it. But it's 2 sixes. And 2 again is about channeling. So it's all about pushing her, like your path is through channeling, and here's what's coming. Access to these characters plus access to the dharmic path.
All righty. Well, that was great, Michael. We're going to move on to another dream, and this is from Julie, and it's titled Spirit Wolves Consume Bald Eagle. Elemental Beings Attacked Unsuspecting Beings by Julie. All
That's
righty.
that's such a title. You would think it was the dream.
I know it's long, but maybe we'll get some really cool things out of it. So hopping into the portals is like playing video games. The hardware we're using looks sort of like a vintage, like a 1980 computer stuff. I love this. She definitely is not technical. But it also on the astral plane. In the game, we are high up next to these rock cliffs. We're hovering and watching a scene that's unfolding. A bunch of bald eagles are flying off the red rock cliffs and just sort of enjoying their lives, acting according to their nature. Then these invisible brown spirit wolves come out of the sky like a storm cloud. They emerge from a storm of whirling energy with these wolves and they consume the eagle. It's so intense. I feel very emotional watching the scene, and I see the outline of the wolves as if I'm watching an animation and they're trying to describe an invisible thing. Wolves in my dreams tend to be negative and scary, like the Brother Grimm's wolves. All righty, Michael, we'll let you see what you have to say about this one so far.
Okay, so there's more of the dream. She's high up next to these rock cliffs. So high up is a symbol for prophecy. We would expect it. If you have an unobstructed 180-degree view of everything in front of you, then that represents prophecy. And then she has the eagles that come on the scene. She says a bunch, a bunch of bald eagles. But then they get attacked. So she has this very easy prophetic nature that's always on. Um, but then she can get into a negative pattern state that kills her default clarity. So she's going through life and she's like, I'm doing this. I know this is going to work out well and that's going to be fine. And I'm going to avoid that thing over there. So it's always on. It's really always helping her. But you can hit this state where she get into a kind of a negative spiral and it kills her clarity. And when this happens, what a guide says, what she has to do is shut down, live her life, and then open up again a while later. So she has to kind of like give herself a day and a half. Don't try to do any channeling or anything like that. Just let it pass. Let that go by. But really interesting how it shows up in the dream. The storm is what tells us that it's a mental stress. Air and how it's depicted in dreams tell about our state of mind. But then it being wolves in that storm, not good at all.
And then how about the hopping into the portals? So is she hopping into a portal? And it's on the astral plane.
The portals are about her ability to project her mind, to get onto the astral plane. And that's what she says the portals are used for. It's kind of an unusual way for it to show up. And if I was looking at portals in dreams, generally they're not good. We usually say to people, you shouldn't be playing with them at all. But here, when I channel on it, they say it's just about her being able to access to, like, very easily and comfortably get to the astral plane.
And that's part of her gift, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few gifts shown here. The prophecy, the ability to channel, the astral plane being about the ability to project your mind, to do hypnosis, absent healing, and projection. So there's a whole series of gifts that come with that. But because she's talking about state of mind and the astral plane, it's a really strong gift for her. But when it gets into this kind of a turmoil state, she has to do something to let it reset, play out and reset.
Then we enter another scene and something sort of similar happens, but I can't remember what. I just remember commenting that in both scenes it seems sort of elemental. Like there was a wind in the wolf scene and then maybe fire in the second scene that consumed a group of unsuspecting animals who were just living their lives the way nature intended. All right, Michael, we'll take a break there.
So this part tells us that this has happened or is connected to 2 lifetimes where she was persecuted and killed as a spiritual leader. And that's going to be true for many of us that have come here as light workers and come here in the past. We don't realize how sweet a spot we're living in right now. The fact that this show can even air on the radio or podcasts can be made. If this was just 100 years ago, the police will be knocking at the door to stop any talk about seances, communication with the spirit world, interpreting dreams. Like even in my early days, when I would try book hotels to put on dream interpretation events, some hotels would say no, we don't allow that type of thing. So we really are in this amazing time now where we can openly talk about things, we can find out about things without fear of persecution. But you can guarantee yourself, if you came here in the past, you were persecuted for using your gifts. And so she was persecuted for using her gifts. And that kind of is what gets her into this downward spiral. And I couldn't, when I channeled that, I couldn't find a solution to the problem. They weren't able to say, look, do this and you can heal it. Now, I suspect there will be, but these dreams don't reveal it. So they're saying for now, you just have to accept that when you hit this space, disconnect, and then just continue on living your life and then reconnect in later and do the spiritual things again.
Wow, that's very interesting. I find that amazing. And I like the fact that
Yeah.
the dream gives her that guidance. So when things start stressing her out, just take a break, which is good for all of us.
Yeah. And we see the spiritual leader here. She talks about the second scene consumed a group of unsuspecting animals. So the group shows her spiritual leadership ability. it is intriguing that she talks about two elements, air and fire, and how the negative beings come in using that as a medium. But we see that it was spiritual leadership was what was affected, because she talks about in the second scene that a group of unsuspecting animals who were just living their lives, they were the target. And so groups in dreams tell us that, in her dream, tells us that she's a spiritual leader. And because this is the second time it happened, it's it's got to be something that's big for her, because it's happened in multiple lifetimes. We suspect at some point her dreams are going to tell her how to deal with this. But very important. And also, I suppose, emphasize why her guides say shut down when this happens, because we see it's connected to mental state. And she has the ability to project her mind. We were talking about that. That's what the astral plane and all that is about. And the flying even is about in the dream. So if I'm in a negative state and I stay connected and I have this ability to project and project and project and cause my future to happen, it's just going to create chaos for me. So disconnecting is because it's like you're amping up this horrible future for yourself by the gift that you brought. So please disconnect from the gift. Let things happen on the earth plane till you get over this issue, and then reconnect into the gift. So even if you didn't understand it, taking the advice of the dream is just so gloriously beneficial to the dreamer.
Yeah, that was great. That's really cool. Alrighty, Michael, let's move on. We have one more dream. It's called Pranks and Good Times, and it's from Allison. And it looks like Allison is just launching her spiritual business, has recently worked on both masculine and feminine aspects through cutting the ties with both mom and dad. Actually, it was dad, then mom. So this dream is going to be interesting to see what happens. I was in a bustling outdoor plaza of a huge mall where a fair or market of some kind was taking place. There were tons of people, vendors selling all kinds of wares, food, and entertainment. I remember seeing Aquafina there, and she lives in London. She was picking up various props for a movie set. One of them looked like two large wooden doors horizontally stacked on top of each other. On top of the doors laid a fake man and woman curled up like they were dead. Aquafina hoisted the prop above her head and walked off. I thought to myself, wow, that would be a great prank to play in public. It looks like she's carrying dead bodies. Okay, Michael,
All
let's see
right.
what you have to say.
So this is about her business because it's taken place in a fair or market. We also know it's spiritual because we see Aquafina, the actress, there. And so channeling is one of her gifts. And of course, here's the thing to notice. I think most people can channel. It's very rare that you're ever going to come across somebody where their guides say they shouldn't channel. So no matter what your gift is, it seems to be channeling is going to be used alongside your gift. But anyway, we know she's a channel because we see Aquafina there. And then we see her holding a door above her head with these two fake dead bodies on it. And so we know it's the spiritual side because it's above Aquafina's head. We know it's connected to channeling. And so when I channeled on that, they told me that she has this feeling that sometimes what her guides say is fake. And so that's why it's the props. And channeling works through both masculine and feminine energy. And that's why we see both masculine and feminine. So she's achieved this ability to open and have her connection to the spirit world, which is what the door above her head is about. But she thinks sometimes what she gets through the connection is fake.
Very interesting. What about the two? Oh, I get it. Two is channeling large wooden doors, though.
Yeah. So we see elimination system issues because of the large wooden doors. We do also see her talking about food and entertainment. So we know that she's got a healing ability too, because
Ooh.
food is the energy source for our bodies. But so it fits for her because she knows that she's doing this. She's just recently named her spiritual business and recently launched it. And so it's great then to see dreams commenting on it and saying, here's what you need to be aware of.
Oh, very good. Let's continue then. I had a table where I left my belongings. My wallet was there with a fat stack of cash in it. Next to my table was a handsome man standing at his table, and he was writing. I thought he was cute and that I might want to talk to him. I left my table for a moment to get a better view of my surroundings and walked away from the plaza and up some steps to get on higher ground. I was planning on where to go next. Then I remembered my stuff and started running back to go check on things. I thought about my wallet and got a little worried. I started hurrying back. As I ran down the stairs, a group of men said, not to worry, that everything was okay, and I found that irritating.
Yeah. So they show up trying to calm her down. It does the opposite. So she worked on dad and then mom. So the men in her dream are hopefully going to be supportive. When you fix the issues with dad, what you tend to find, like we talk about the arc of your healing journey, you tend to find that you have a big issue going on. There's something then that shows up in your dream and you realize it's no longer a big issue because I know this person. I know that the head person who I think is attacking me now I realize is a friend or whatever. And we're going to see that in this dream. But here right now, she doesn't trust her masculine side. And the masculine side allows us set boundaries, allows us create a space, it allows us to occupy a space and have confidence and so on in our abilities, even if the abilities are feminine energy abilities. And we see the wallet in the dream, which is, and money, which is about the feminine side, which is, it's about the heart and so on. We saw the woman curled up, but Aquafina was the first there. So she's currently working on the feminine side, but because she's done both, we see both men and women showing up in the dream to show this harmony coming. But it's not there yet. She's not finished the process yet because the man and woman are dead. But it's quite interesting. So anyway, what does she do? She moves away from the plaza to go up to higher ground. And that's what life is about. So it's about raising my vibration, getting a higher perspective. But then she worries about, oh, somebody could have stolen my wallet and messed with my other stuff. And she comes back down. And so this is what she's trying to overcome. Issues with the feminine side that literally feels like if you get me to share and open up with you or to share my gift, I feel like you've clubbed me over the head. You've made me do it. So she's working on that acceptance of herself and ability to be vulnerable in a space and help people and so on.
I ran back to my table and my stuff was gone. I started looking around the nearby tables and went over to the cute guy's table to search. I was basically all over his stuff and interrupting his writing. I recalled that he had his wallet open and instead of cash, he had a large stack of business cards in it. He looked up at me and smiled, kind of surprised, and then noticed me. I thought, score! Now we could talk to each other, but first, my stuff.
It's an interesting thread, trying to connect with that guy, which is what all the work she's been doing is all about. Reconnect with the masculine and reconnect with the feminine. And so here we see it working, or at least it's on the threshold, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she calls him a cute guy too. So what we tend to see in the arc of healing is it's people we do not want in the beginning. And like even in the paragraph before, she didn't trust the men. You know, she's like, they're trying to appease me, but I don't like it. I'm irritated by these people. So a lot of that's going to have her views of men in reality, but also her views because that's the way dad was. We see the connection to the business because the large stack of business cards. And I like that it's a large stack because that says this is the right thing for you to be doing, to be putting more emphasis on your business. Business in a energy space is masculine. Like creating anything in the world is masculine energy. Anything outside of yourself is masculine energy. So anyway, she gets noticed, but she's still distracted by the feminine because she's worried about where her wallet is. And she even talks about he had his wallet open. So this is what she's meant to be doing. He's a guide. He's showing her you're meant to be unafraid. You're meant to share your gifts or your business skills with other people. But she isn't quite there yet.
Okay. Right next to the cute guy was a very tall man holding a huge stack of cash, but my wallet and belongings were nowhere to be found. I recognized him as a friend, so I immediately knew everything was okay. I let him hang on to the money. He looked down at the table and said, in a hinting manner, drew my attention to a single business card that was purple and white. The card was for a private investigator and the number to call starting with 868. There were a lot of eights in his numbers. I recognized the number right away. It belonged to John Oliver, who was my best friend in the dream. I knew right away I was in the middle of a prank and my guy friends had taken my stuff.
This is what I said was going to happen. And we see it repeatedly happen for people. Like, I think I'm in trouble. I think people have stolen my things. And then it's like, oh my God, not only do I know the guy who's done it, he's my best friend, even though John Oliver isn't her best friend in reality. And it is the John Oliver I asked. But again, This represents her ability to project, her ability to channel, and so on, because he's an actor and he's a TV personality. So it's about her connecting with the masculine energy. We see the purple and white business card. So spiritual leadership is indeed part of the spiritual business that she's been asked to set up. And then she recognized him because of the start of his phone number. When I asked that, she said, oh, yeah, he's in my phone book. So I knew that was him just as soon as I saw those numbers. But then numbers are always important. The eights are about expansion through balance. So they're saying, this is what you're doing. It's connected to cut the ties. Keep going, because you're going to overcome the issues that you have with your own masculine energy, just like in this dream.
Wow, that's fabulous. Let's continue on. I love this dream so far. My friends and I walked over to John Oliver. He was standing behind an outdoor ticket booth to the movie theater. I said jokingly that you don't put a number that starts with 868 on a business card if you're trying to pull a prank on me. He was giggling with delight and said something funny. It was all very fun and lighthearted. Ooh, I like that ending, Michael.
Exactly. And this is just right before she was finishing with the whole process. So we see a very good outcome. We see her embracing the masculine. In it, it's like, my masculine side is now my best friend. And that's what we're trying to get to. And same with the feminine. I want the feminine side to also be my best friend. So really, really cool. The outdoor ticket booth, again, connecting it with, this is how you are going to make a living going forward, bringing your gifts outdoors to people, and I think that's it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dream. The way it played out, absolutely nice.
All righty, now that was super, Michael. Really enjoyed that dream. I'm sure people really appreciate it as I did. And that's all we have for this week. So thank you, everybody, and have a fabulous week. Bye.
Bye.